Gee, Cal, who are the old people?
Is this your mom and dad?
Oh, God, no. No, these are just the neighbors. They live in the empty lot next door.
They look dirty.
Yeah.
Let's rock.
Thanks, Dad.
Can I get a whooping?
No Man presents, live from the nudie bar, the Married with Children podcast. And here are your hosts, Jerry, Justin, and Al.
What's up, guys? We're back. We're live. We are in the nudie bar. Thank God it has not been misplaced. I am joined by the guy who looks dirty. Jerry. What's up, Jerry?
Ew.
Yeah. You just are looking a little ripe tonight, man.
Well, I had to borrow a shirt from your closet.
My wedding shirt. Yeah, we'll talk about that. And the guy who... He was running a little late, but he's here. He was out picking up pantyhose and tampons. Justin, what's up, man?
I got nothing. Why would this single guy be the one that does?
We're reviewing The House That Peg Lost, Season 3, Episode 16. Steve and Marcy return from vacation, shocked to find a big hole where their house used to be. This episode is directed by Jerry Cohen, and the writers are Steve Granite and Mel Scherer.
Where glamour meets Dame Fortune, here we are at the luckiest men on earth party. And look, isn't that Joe Piscopo at poolside?
Joe Piscopo is a comedian, and he went through this weird phase where he was like a bodybuilder too, and it was like all in the 80s, so it was like super cheesy, and he had like a curly mullet. In 1988, a year before, this aired, he divorced his wife. He was married to a model who used to be on the Wheel of Fortune. He was married to Nancy Jones in 1973. And what happened was they had one kid, and because of that kid, he met his future wife because they needed a babysitter. And he fell in love with his 18-year-old babysitter, who was like a hot chick in the 80s named Kimberly Driscoll. And so he basically left his wife, and they got divorced, and a year later, I think he married this babysitter, like a hot blonde. And he was in the public eye, so everybody knew about it. I mean, of course, women despised him after that, and there were, like, supposedly a whole bunch of people trying to, like, break them apart. So he goes and he makes a public ass of himself. And he goes on that. So I guess that's why he's really lucky, they say, because he's with a chick way younger than him. Oh, no. He was born in like 1951. So by 88, I guess he was like 37. And she was 18. So he's 20 years older. So he goes on national television. I don't know what show it was. We'd have to like look into it maybe. And he goes, and I guess he begged the producers or whoever. I don't know how he was even able to do this. But he goes on national television and belts out a song on TV singing about, he's professing his love for Kimberly and talking about how people are trying to break them up and how much he loves her and blah, blah. And it's like known as the most cringeworthy, embarrassing moment that a man, basically neuters himself on national television.
I'm going to YouTube that later, because that sounds hilarious.
The song is just called Kimberly, I think. So I'll play a little bit of it on this show, because people won't even believe it.
Meant to be. evil forces working here, girl, they're trying to pull us apart. Apart. But it's true, my love for you is clearing through and straight from my heart. Oh, why don't they just let us be? You're a woman, I'm a man, come and take my hand. Cover me, cover me, cover me. 3, 4. Oh, yeah.
Al, have you seen my ashtray? Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I thought the beer tasted like your hamburgers.
It's an old family recipe. Of course, Mom's was a little different. She chewed tobacco.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember her lemonade.
So, what would you guys prefer? Ashy beer and burgers or tobacco chewed lemonade?
Ash. I'll take the ash. I'm not taking someone's chewing tobacco.
Oh, that's an easy one. Definitely the beer.
Yeah, we might have already done that and not even known it.
I definitely have done that. I've done both, not lemonade, though.
Mom, Dad, I love you. No, I already took some, thanks. No, I just wanted to remind you that tomorrow's the big day, so thanks for letting me have my pajama party.
Oh, no, you're not having a pajama party. I'm still getting flashbacks from the last one you had.
Daddy, I was 8.
But the judge wanted to try you as an adult.
That's weird, because now I want to try her out as an adult.
Whoa.
Well, you don't have much time to wait.
She got to be at a 7-Eleven?
If you meet her in the back, yeah, you don't have to wait. I think, what was it, Tuesday she'll be there? What could she have done to be tried as an adult? I don't even understand that. But
well, she shaved her dad's head. There were
rude,
boys,
but not legal.
Yeah, there were boys involved. Like, I don't know. This is one of those jokes where your imagination can run wild, but to actually pick something, yeah, it's not going to happen.
Mommy, thanks for letting me have my pajama party.
You're welcome.
Oh, no, I'm not going to sit here and let you two make my decisions for me. That's how we had Bud.
Well, Dad, if you remember, I was the first one to say let's throw him back. Now, you promised that I could have another pajama party. It's right here in black and white. You signed it when I was 8. Absolutely no parties involving pajamas, music, or shaving Daddy's head while he sleeps. Until you're 16. Signed, your father, God help me, Al Bundy.
You can't hold me to that. I thought I'd be dead by now.
Well, the joke's on you, Dad.
No, actually, the joke's on me, but not very often.
Hey, Kel, word through the peephole in the girls' shower room is that you're having a pajama party. Is this true? Girls here in pajamas?
Bud, please, your pimple is squirting me. Mom, please, it's girls only. Can't you send him somewhere like Stephen Marcy's, the zoo, the Phoebe tank at Marineland?
Bud, while Kelly's having her party, you will stay in your room. And you're only allowed out for dinner, which means you'll be in your room.
Oh, come on, Bud. Just pretend that it's a normal Saturday night. Turn the lights down low, put on some soft music, and dial 1-800-NO-DATE.
No, Kel. If it was a normal Saturday night, I'd be busy selling low numbers to the guys outside your window.
Now, Jerry, can I sell you some low numbers?
If it's 1 and 2 and 3, can I get 4 also? How many numbers per night?
Hey, come on, don't be a number pig.
Well, I mean, sui, right?
Sui. Like, what do people do? Go sui, and the pigs run over and eat. Like, what does that even mean?
To this day, I still think that's the funniest thing to ever happen. That's the funniest feedback we've ever gotten on a show.
Now, I like when Peg says to Al, "Why don't you ever take me to a hotel?" And he says, "You just find your way home." Oh, that was supposed to be your opening line. I was going to say the guy who we take to hotel rooms or to hotels, but still finds his way home.
Wait, me or... Oh, it was for me?
Yeah, that was for you. And I forgot. I wasn't going to say that Justin's dirty, but I think that was... Because I took my notes. I forgot to put stars next to it.
Is it because I'm Mexican and that might be considered racist?
No. So stupid.
We just wanted to say how we felt. Oh, and ask if you would watch our house for us while we're in New York. Peggy, Steve's taking me to the theater. Then we're going to check into this little hotel we know.
Yeah, it's not really little. It's $200 a night.
How come you never take me to a hotel, Al?
Because you just find your way home.
Look, we stopped the mail, canceled the newspaper, put all the plants in the bathtub. All you have to do is let the plumber in to fix the sink. Steve, now that I hear myself say it, I'm not sure they can do it.
Marcy, it's so easy a chimp could do it. Unfortunately, we couldn't find a chimp, so we lower our standards and go with these two. Here you go. Oh, and if a chimp comes by, tell him we couldn't wait any longer.
Have a nice time. Enjoy the show. Have a safe trip. Don't worry about a thing. They're gone. I got the key. Let's loot their house.
They give the Bundys the key to their house. Now, did you expect anything to happen after that besides Al going right over there and looting it?
I expected. I was like, okay, this is gonna revolve around something happening with their house. But I expected like a small theft or something, like their TV was stolen, something like that. That's what I assumed, because then they're like, oh, Peggy, you just let anyone in there?
Right. Yeah.
But also, I would have assumed at that point, like, there would have been a scene outside where, like, Peggy would be outside and she would see someone looking into the Rhoades' house windows, and she would be like, oh, here's the key. And then that would have been the setup for the episode, which would be super believable, and they just threw that completely out the window, because this is season 3.
Did you think that Kelly was going to steal the key and go have the party at their house because Al didn't want it in his, and then she was going to make it a whole big thing and like trash the place?
I did
that
think
would have
that,
been
actually.
Yeah, that would have been really good.
That's where I thought it was going.
Though after I'd watched the episode and I looked up, like, I was looking up stuff for the episode, someone had the description as their house was when a construction crew mistakenly demolishes their house. I'm like, first of all,
wow,
there's no way they demolished the house that fast and no one noticed.
Right.
Literally, in enough time for Al to go to a grocery store and get a single bag of groceries. They demolished a whole house, cleaned it up, and got it out of there. And at that point, I was like, I should probably not nitpick this episode. But I will nitpick one thing. When Steve leaves the house, if you watch him, when he's getting to the door, he reaches out for the door and then pulls his hand back because he apparently remembered that, oh, well, Ed O'Neill's got to come say a line that involves to the door. I'm not supposed to close the door. But they didn't like retake that or do a second thing or anything. I guess no one caught it. It's kind of like the ring falling out of the pants thing.
You know, Peg, you can learn a lot about people going through their safe. I wonder if Steve knows that the house is only in Marcy's name.
Huh. And I wonder if Marcy knows that Steve's mother is the beneficiary to his life insurance.
Also, they should already have that VCR. They stole that VCR last episode.
Yeah, it's interesting. They should still have it. I mean, one could assume that, a week or two went by and they got it again.
Yeah, they came back and took it back or something. But
And we talked about this. Like, what was the joke we made? Like, I forgot what it was. It was like sort of, hair.
Yeah, and also the same thing like with the continuity of like Peggy winning a car.
Yeah, that too. It's like it's a hybrid of all this because they had a hair episode of sorts, and then they had another one a week later with them losing their hair, and then now it's weird to write back-to-back episodes where the Bundys steal a VCR. It's like, well, what should we do this week? Well, just steal a VCR again. But Justin pointed out when we were talking that the production code is different on this episode. This most likely took place after the next 2 episodes we're going to review. So there are actually the Peggy...
the name of the next 2 episodes?
Married with Queen?
Prom Queen.
See, mine doesn't say that. In this thing, it just says married ... with Queen.
No.
Oh, mine definitely says married ... with prom queen.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
That is odd. Yeah, mine doesn't say that. On IMDb, I'm sure it does, though. Yeah, married with prom queen. The part 1 and 2 of that should have been between these 2 episodes. So I think they figured there's 2 episodes, so it's okay to do the same joke again. Peg gets called June Cleaver, and that's obviously just the reference. Leave It to Beaver's mother was named June Cleaver, and I guess she was like the perfect mom who cooked and cleaned and was loving and supportive to the father. So I guess that's why he's obviously saying that she's the opposite of that, so it's ironic to call her that.
Yeah, and if you're under the age of 20 and have no idea what Leave It to Beaver is, it's also the line that Eminem uses in 8 Mile in his final battle rounds at the end of the movie.
Yep.
You'll know it from there.
Against Papa Doc?
No, he uses it against Lotto. The guy who was like, Lotto, that tank top don't fit you. Because he's like, Ward, I think you were a little hard on the Beavers. So was Eddie Haskell.
Lotto was like...
Yeah, June and Miss Cleaver.
He's like, I hate to have to murder that dude from Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah. I feel like Eminem would have watched Married with Children.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Growing up.
I'm sure he did.
There's a joke right here between Bud and Kelly. It was like over 100 million served, signed by your bed. She ends up winning saying ha, and he goes, spell it.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
But here's the thing. That's a reused joke because they already used that joke a few episodes when she wrote it on the side of the bus.
No, that's what I recognized. But, yeah, you're right. I didn't even think of the idea that we just did this again. Wow.
Yeah. And it got the question going to me. How often would we consider it a callback, or is it just them straight up recycling a joke so soon?
Well, callback is more like the way the Patty Bright girl reacted to the coffee, or...
I mean, you can make it make sense. You could be like, oh, Bud wasn't expecting to lose, so he didn't have an answer, so he just threw something that was, he had used before back on her.
If you're a kidnapper, don't forget the little male child upstairs. Have a nice day.
Excuse me, ma'am, but I'm looking for Steve's Roadhouse.
Ah, it's next door. Here are the keys.
And then she said, it's next door, points sort of to the left, which is where we think the house is. Like, if you're looking at the Bundys' house, the Rhoades' house should be to the right of it. And he goes and lifts up their house and takes it away.
That's the one thing that did bother me in this episode, is I have no idea if Steve's house is to the left, to the right, or directly across the street.
The best I'm going to come up with is they must live on a cul-de-sac and they're right at the bend of it, and you could sort of see the front of their house if you look out of the front of yours. That's the only way this makes sense, because otherwise she should have ran over to the sliding door in the back behind the couch.
Well, what is she going to do? Crawl through the hole in the fence left by Bella?
Well, it's the size of a human face. She could fit, right?
Well, I guess she could also just go through the other hole that will happen from Peg's mom.
Right.
Laying on it. They've got a lot of holes in their fence. And that's
like
is a
Swiss
callback.
cheese.
If there was a house that's somehow left for this guy to come and lift and drive away to be used as a chicken place, wouldn't you expect it to look different? Shouldn't he know? Shouldn't he say, wait a minute, this isn't what we're supposed to be picking up. This is supposed to be a bi-level.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be this. Like, it's just so odd.
How do you just move a house? Like, the only reason I didn't question it is because as I was watching it, the joke made me think of the joke in Robin Hood Men in Tights. And so I laughed at that. And after that, I just went back to the episode. But
I'm
you're
pretty
right.
sure you can move a house.
You can. They moved the original Michael Myers house.
Yeah, but not in literally an hour. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I doubt that you're going to be able to do that.
Yeah, you can't. This is one of those things you cannot look into. So I'm not even going to penalize the episode for it. I mean, it is the most outlandish joke ever. But it is funny to think that they come home to a mud hole. Like, that's great. I don't know who in the writing room, like, I couldn't imagine the conversation. Like, well, let's make an episode where the Rhoades come home and their house is gone. Because there was it's like, okay, how can we do that, though? And, like, what would it do? Get whisked away in a tornado and land in Oz? And it's funny that they actually reference that, because later, when Marcy faints over the whole idea, she dreamed that she was in Oz, which is weird because that's what happened. The house was just lifted up, and there was nothing there at Annie M's farm or whatever, So it's a weird, like, tie-in reference.
Yeah, but you know what? I believe, okay, my mom grew up very poor in Alabama, and she told me at one point there was a house that they lived in that the floor, like when she was really, really, really young, was dirt.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
So I can believe that with Wizard of Oz.
Right. But you saw the bottom of the house. It was like wood in that movie, though.
Exactly. They didn't have, like, running plumbing, so it's not like pipes had to be ran into the house or anything.
Yeah, it just sat on dirt, right.
Yeah, you just sat on dirt and they just have a wood bottom. Yeah, you can just pick that up and move it, but you couldn't do that to houses in the 80s.
Right. Yeah, it's just the most outlandish thing.
So I let the plumber in over at Steve and Marcy's.
Oh, they'll be so happy. By the way, did you know their house is gone?
What do you mean, gone?
Gone. Like my hopes, my dreams, my future.
Oh, gone. It can't be gone. Al, Steve and Marcy's house is gone.
Nothing gets by you, does it, Peg? Except a house.
Peg, like we said, does a thing where she looks across the street. Like I said, it must be a cul-de-sac because she's looking out of the front of her, out of the front window, and that garage extends, so she couldn't see anything to the left anyway. So it is a whole bizarre thing. But so the best line around here is when Al says, "If they don't bring it up, you don't bring it up."
Hold on, I know this is dumb, but their house would have to be to the left, and it would be blocked by the garage because Bella got in on that side and he went out the sliding glass door to the left side to shoot her. So their house should be on the left. So there's no way she should be able to look out the front door
and see anything.
And see it.
Yeah.
Like, because their backyard is actually their side yard for some reason.
Right. Yeah, he shot Bella there. Yeah, that makes...
In the petunia.
His brains are in the begonias. That's great. Whether or not... Okay, let's put it this way. Whether or not Peg gave somebody, the wrong guy, keys or not, they could still lift up your house and take it away. That guy having the keys had no bearing on whether or not they were taking...
Yeah, like you don't need a keys to tow a car away.
So I would just say, I have no idea. What do you think? I told somebody to tow your house away? I have no idea.
But then they would ask, but then Steve and Marcy would be like, well, where's our keys at?
I gave them to the plumber.
Okay, I guess you could say that.
A guy said, "Where's Steve Rhoades' house?" I gave it to him, and he never returned them. And that's it.
I think they're looking at suing the wrong people here.
Oh, they're going to be so rich after they get their stuff. Which, by the way, Steve's Roadhouse actually exists. There's even a Facebook page for it. It's a bar and steakhouse in San Antonio, Texas. So if you ever want to go to the real Steve's Roadhouse, that's where it is. Now, Al said this Roadhouse is in Waukegan, Illinois. That's where they, when they picked up Steve and Marcy's house, that's where they dropped it and opened up the chicken business. And that is roughly an hour away from where they live. So it's not really far. They can go there and,
I just want to throw it out there that if any fan of the show lives near this place in Texas, please go get me a picture of it. If you can go and take a picture of it and it says Steve Rhoades' house, I will send you a Married with Children shirt for you to take another picture of yourself in front of it wearing the Married with Children shirt.
Wow.
Whoa.
Because that is awesome. That would be so cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to run a commercial on this show so people know they could get our shirts too, by the way. Like, if you guys go to TeePublic, you can get shirts of our show, like mouse pads, coffee mugs, the whole thing, stickers, notebooks, whatever. And it's all that awesome artwork that Josh James did. That's I'm sure you've seen it by now if you're listening to this. If you look this up anywhere online, it's our show's banner and stuff. So you can get shirts and stuff like that, and they're pretty cheap. They're only like $14 or whatever. So,
well, they're 14 if they're on sale.
But they're always on sale.
Yeah, they go on sale every other month.
So just wait 2 weeks, you'll get on sale. And they're a little undersized, so I'd go one size bigger if I were everybody.
It's Steve and Marcy. They're home early. Oh, I just know they're going to be in a foul mood. Hope they're not going to come over here.
What are they doing?
Well, they're looking at their hole. Now they're looking at our house. Now their hole. Now our house. Yep, I knew it. Here they come. I just know they're going to blame us.
So one of the best jokes ever is when they ring the Bundys' doorbell after they come home to the hole where their house used to be, and Al goes, "Who is it?" What was that delivery, man? That was classic.
That voice was hilarious, though, because I was just like, wait a second. Why are you doing such a, weak voice? Are you trying to pretend you're Peggy or something?
Right. I love when Al tries to do, he's done this before in the episodes that we've reviewed already, where he tries to take people's mind. Oh, yeah, when he shot Bella. He was like, "Hey, look, Peg, it's Steve and Marcy from across the street, or next door, or whatever." See, here I am now, even confusing it. Next door, Al, we heard a shot. They heard a shot, Peg. Did you hear a shot? And now he's doing it again with, so how was your trip? And we're not going to bring up the house that's missing.
Who is it?
Open up in there!
Oh, hey, Steve. I'd love to talk to you, but I know you're all tired out from your trip and all, so why don't you just turn in and we'll chat tomorrow. Nighty-night. Who is it? Hey, Steve, that's rude. His home is his castle.
Well, mine is a moat, Al. What did you do with our house?
What? Now, relax. Just relax. Tell us about your trip first.
You want to hear about our trip? Okay. I'll tell you about our trip. First, they lost our luggage, then our hotel reservations. The play we wanted to see stunk, and I didn't get any sleep. Why? Because all the good heating grates were taken. So we came home. You have anything to tell us?
No. Kelly's having a party. Bud's doing well in school.
Where's our house, Al?
It's a chicken restaurant in Waukegan. You didn't think I knew, did you?
See, this is really so funny. See, this guy came over and asked for Steve's roadhouse. Well, I thought he said Steve Rhoades' house, and then one thing led to another, and your house was gone.
So, one of the greatest lines that didn't get a good chuckle out of the audience, sadly. I guess maybe they don't know what it is, or I thought it was a pretty good joke. Don't you know a man's home is his castle? And he goes, "Mine's a moat, Al."
That was hilarious. Also,
that's a good line.
When Al ask him about his weekend, Steve's head is tilted, And when he asked that, he straightens up and he was like, "Oh, well, let me tell you." And I like, to me, that is like, we've talked about it many times on the show where the way they do eye glances or the way they tilt their head or these really small, like, niche things make the show so much better.
Yeah.
And that was a prime example for me when he lifted his head back to being straight from tilted. Oh, so good.
It makes the characters and the whole thing feel lived in.
Yes.
When they have all these little touches. That's what it does. Just think of the acting abilities of these guys. If they threw this script to you, could you even sell this? It's like, it's amazing.
Dude, there are too many problems with this script that I would have been like, no, go back, make these changes.
The thing is, though, dude, like, this episode, its strength is during, like, the slumber party stuff, and it's like, kind of takes the back seat a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is the B plot.
Yeah. I feel like it should be the A plot, though, because I'm more interested in that.
I wonder why.
I legit meant story-wise.
Oh, not you. Yeah, you weren't just looking forward to looking at chicks.
Like, I just thought it was, like, great, like, fodder for funny things to happen and, like, jokes and different things like that. You know what I mean?
Justin also buys Playboys for the articles.
Yeah.
You're funny. That's actually a completely relevant, good joke. Good job.
Yeah, Hugh Hefner reference. Who, R.I.P., buddy.
It's relevant in many ways, actually. That was actually perfect. Good job. Proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm super proud of me. This is the only thing y'all are going to get for being proud of me for a while, so enjoy it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I did look it up, and none of Kelly's friends were ever naked. Some of them do have pretty good careers, though. So obviously, I guess we'll get to it real quick, since we're already in this mode, even though it's a little bit later on. Bud dresses up like Hugh Hefner. Obviously, that's the guy founded Playboy back in 1953, and he died last year on September 27th. He was a pretty amazing guy, just on his lifestyle alone. I mean, it was like a grotto in the Playboy mansion. Like, there's stories that were confirmed by girls who eventually went on Howard Stern, like girls who just got into Playboy and then they, didn't need it no more, so they were willing to say stuff. He'd have like 3 or 4 Playboy centerfolds at a time in his bed. And this was like a nightly occurrence. And the guy was like, this went on from, I guess, since in his 20s or 30s till he died at 91. So he had a pretty amazing life.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Oh, look, Marcy's coming too.
Oh, I had this awful dream. I dreamt I was Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. Peggy, you were the good witch.
Peg was the good witch, because Glinda also had, she was also a redhead in The Wizard of Oz, so that's what that joke was a reference to.
Al, you were looking for a brain. And Steve, you were Don Johnson naked. Then a train went through a tunnel.
Then she said Steve was Don Johnson, and they had sex. He, of course, was pretty popular at this time because he had a show that was still going on for about one more year during this show. Miami Vice is what he's known for, Don Johnson. It's a pretty big show. And actually, I think Mills Creek owns that as well, and I think they put that all on Blu-ray, which really...
How do you put Miami Vice on Blu-ray, but not Married with Children?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Supposedly it was filmed... I don't know. I think the argument is that Married with Children was filmed with videotape, and I guess they shot Miami Vice in real film, like 35 millimeter.
Wow, yeah, that can make a difference.
That's their justification. But here's the thing. Because this whole argument that there's no reason to put it on Blu-ray, it makes no sense. These DVDs look terrible. Like, even when I do screenshots for the show and I put it on our Facebook, they just look amazingly bad. Now, I bought wrestling Blu-rays, and these are wrestling from like the 70s, 80s, and 90s, a lot of NWO stuff. that was all shot on videotape, but they still put that on Blu-ray, and it looks way better than the DVDs I used to buy.
Yeah, technically, if it's not on film, you can't do like a actual like film transfer, but I'm sure you can still upscale and digitally, restore and things like that to it. Because I'm with you on that, dude. Like everywhere online, and maybe that's partially why, it's some of the information is so hard to come by with this show. Maybe people just would be more into sharing memes and different things. Like there's clearly a strong sense of it, but most of the screen caps are pretty trash.
Right.
Yeah. And not only, even if you don't even look at the quality side of it, Blu-rays last a lot longer than DVDs. DVDs get disc rot way faster. They scratch way easier. Like Blu-rays literally will last 3 to 4 times longer than a DVD will.
Yeah, and this shitty Mill Creek set, if it was Blu-rays, I would have half the discs. Right. You're like 1/3 the discs that I have to deal with.
Yeah. Of course, if they did put out a Blu-ray set, we still wouldn't get like any special features.
Yeah. Yeah. Not as long as like a company like Mill Creek owns it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But Mill Creek, if Mill Creek does decide for some special features and maybe you need some commentary on a few episodes, hit us up.
Yep. They could come knocking.
That's actually not an impossible thing to do. That's happened a few times, like fan commentaries on official releases.
That's very true. Paramount had Adam Green and Joe Lynch do that commentary for Friday 4.
Yep. Yeah, and we have ties to Man of Beers. Come on.
Yeah, really, man.
Yeah.
Al, so Marcy and Steve are now going to sleep at the Bundys because they have nowhere to go. And I don't even know, like, exactly what steps they're taking. Like, are they sleeping there just tonight and the house will be back tomorrow? Like, what's happening? We get no real status on how they handled this entire situation, so that's kind of funny. Like, I have no idea what they're doing about it. But
yeah.
They're just sort of staying with the Bundys at the moment.
Yeah, and I was going to say, why wouldn't they just go stay at, like, a hotel or a motel? But obviously, their experiences with that are very bad.
Yeah, they don't want to get videotaped.
Yeah, they're either getting videotaped or, like, the one here was just terrible.
Right. So, Al lets Steve borrow a shirt. Now, this shirt I always found insanely amusing. I married, shoot me. It's just those words on a gray shirt. And I always wanted to wear that because I think it just really encapsulates, like, marriage. And I always felt that way just from other marriages I've observed. I had one made up for me in the mall a week before I was married.
Be honest, that's the only reason you actually got married, was to have that shirt and not be a fake.
Right, yeah. I'm not going to wear it. People are going to be like, dude, you're not married, you loser. I'd be like, oh, why would you wear a shirt that says you are? That's kind of weird. I love Steve, too. I just don't feel the need to mention it every 46 seconds because I feel like Jerry does that for us. So I actually do like him enough that I wanted to wear the same shirt that he had. So
that's right, you did.
On the morning of my wedding, when we all came down for breakfast, that's what I wore.
Wait, time out. Did she know about the shirt beforehand, or was this her first time seeing it?
No, she knew about it.
Oh, dude, that would have been hilarious if she hadn't known about it.
Yeah, her face dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even been married for a full 24 hours, and I was already wearing a shirt that said, I'm married, shoot me.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep. So, Marcy and Steve are going to sleep on the couch, the famous couch in the living room. I don't know what's going on here. Like, did nobody tell these two that there's going to be a slumber party? Like, Alan Pegg didn't even bother to mention, oh, hey, by the way, a gaggle of teenage girls are going to come in here and have a party where you guys are sleeping? Like, oh my God. Like,
yeah, I wasn't going to say anything because I wasn't going to try to nitpick the episode. But seriously, they just forgot.
Or they didn't bother to even, I don't know. I feel like it's more like that. The jerkiness of Alan Pegg more than like a plot hole.
Also, if all the girls are having the pajama party downstairs, why couldn't Marcy and Steve go into Kelly's room. All the girls are sleeping downstairs. It's a pajama party. They're not all gonna. Kelly's not gonna be like, all right, guys, I'm going to my bed.
But what a great.
I got a line waiting.
Yeah. Give them low numbers. Get them in there. Let them go to sleep. And then they'll wake up and we can get on with the regular business. What a great visual, though, for the two of them to be on the couch. Marcy looks like hell. Steve looks like death. And these girls come in and they all instantly just sit around as if they don't realize that these two are older people who shouldn't be here. And then all of a sudden they all just stop. And they have like a pizza box with them and everything. And they just stop and look at them. They're like, who are these old people?
Yeah, and they all arrived at the exact same time.
Right. I guess like a mom dropped them all off.
One mom just took her van around to pick them up.
What about a school bus?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think they have the one they stole anymore. I think it got destroyed when someone wrote bad things on the side of it.
Ha ha, and they pushed it on in the ghetto, yeah.
Gee, Kel, who are the old people? Is this your mom and dad?
Oh, God, no. No, these are just the neighbors. They live in the empty lot next door.
They look dirty. Ew.
Now, Al gets a sex point.
That he does. He's very uncomfortable doing it while other people in the house. You know, Steve and Marcy and the kids and Peggy.
It's very uncomfortable when Peg's still there.
And this is not the first time that Al has gotten a sex point because people walked in the room.
No, he got it when the neighborhood watch came in.
Yep.
Probably for the same episode. Wow. How many times are we going to mention the Bella episode, but I didn't shoot the deputy? Like, that's crazy. We mentioned this, like, on 4 different occasions already with this episode. It's weird.
Yeah, it's like we're doing callbacks or reusing jokes or something.
Yeah, are we just reusing jokes, or is this a callback? So, they go upstairs to go to sleep in the Bundys' bedroom. They can't sleep because Kelly's blasting music, and she never knew 10 toes could smell that bad.
You know what? I got a question for you with these girls. Like, with the whole, like, them trash-talking each other while they was going around, like, guys don't do that. Like, we trash-talk to each other's face. Like, we make a game out of, like, putting each other down.
Yep.
And, it kind of works because there's always, like, small truths in it. So you can kind of, if you're really paying attention, you can kind of, like, adjust yourself to better yourself, like, socially. But girls, they always do it behind each other's back. But here's my question. In this sense, they're making fun of one girl. She comes back. A girl who was there getting made fun of, or that was making fun of her, gets up and leaves, and then they all make fun of her.
Can you believe Charlene? What a loser. God, I hate her.
She's so phony.
And a boring slob. She couldn't turn a boy on with a switch.
I know, she's so nice. What a lame girl.
Oh, hi, Charlene. You look great. You know, we were just saying that you must have to beat the boys off with a stick. My turn. God, I hate her. She's
Alex, you said something before we started recording about where she goes is wrong or something. Can you point that out real quick?
Yeah, this was a misconception. I think the person who added this into IMDb is actually mistaken. On IMDb, it says that both girls, they go through the attached garage door, apparently to go to the bathroom, but Al doesn't install one until years later.
Whoa.
Didn't we already do this? Wasn't it a dump of my own?
Yeah.
But I didn't even put it together that, oh yeah, they're going to that bathroom Al made. But yeah, I guess that would have to be where they're going. So dump of my own obviously took place long before this episode.
Okay, then what episode, do you know off the top of your head, is there a future episode that involves him making another bathroom?
I wonder if they're talking about when he made his man cave in the garage or something. I have no idea. He did that, but Dump of My Own was Season 3, Episode 5, which took place in January. So I don't understand how these people think that didn't happen yet. Like, did that episode take place in the future? Did they say, well, I'm so glad it's 1994, let's go build a bathroom?
Yeah, I think this might be an episode where we've pointed out more just odd, weird things than any other episode beforehand.
It is. It's a lot of weird things like that. It's good to talk about this episode. There's just so much to learn. Like, I feel this is a well-rounded show already, and we're not even, like, done yet.
Yeah.
And I feel like I didn't even get to, like, we didn't even talk about any of these girls. The girls' names are Lauren, Tasha, Karen, and Charlene.
And none of them wanted to step up to Club Bud.
Nope, not one. So Allison Barron's one of the girls. She was in a lot of horror movies. She was in Night of the Demons, A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, and Patriot Games.
Who's she playing in Night of the Demons?
Yeah, she didn't have big roles. Like A Nightmare Part 2, she was just the girl on the school bus, probably in that opening dream sequence.
Well, okay, wait, which actress is this?
This is Allison Barron.
Allison Barron.
Good luck trying to put the names to the face, but Tracy Justrich, she was in like 8 is Enough, Knots Landing, Doogie Howser MD. You know, I guess it's a career, but Kristen Piercy, she was in Life Goes On with Corky Romero or whatever, Full House, and that's about it. She really didn't, and Charles in Charge, but these were all like mostly one-offs except for Life Goes On. And Laurie Shears was in Cinderella's Daughter, For Better or Worse, Bachelor Man. She hasn't worked since 2004. Nothing. Oh, she was in Beverly Hills 90210 in 91. And the last guy to mention is Jonathan Coogan, the guy who started this whole mess, who asked for where Steve's Roadhouse is. He wasn't in much that we would know. Married with Children was his first acting role, believe it or not. So him asking for that house was the first thing he ever did. And he was in like Pups, Grounded for Life, and The Fall Dude. Stuff I never really heard of. But.
So did you mention that Allison Barron was Helen in Night of the Demons?
Yeah, the chick that like no one remembers because she doesn't. She comes in with the black dude. She's not the Asian chick. She's not the main little Bo Peep Alice in Wonderland white chick.
Right.
She's not either one. She's not Lana Quigley, and she's not the main demon chick. It's like, so she's the one that no one remembers.
I'm looking now. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, no one's going to remember her.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she's the least memorable. And I'm looking at her right now from the Nightmare 2. Actually, that's who I thought she was in Nightmare Elm Street Part 2. Yeah, she sort of she's like the one person that's not memorable in that movie. Oddly enough.
In At Night of the Demons?
Yeah.
Yeah, really, when you think about it, she kind of is.
Right, that's... Wow. Okay, here's a joke that I don't like, these types of weird force jokes that I think are just stupid. So Bud is sitting on the couch. The chick makes believe she's into him. It could be the girl we just mentioned. I don't even know. And she says that she's into him, so I'm going to give you something. Close your eyes, okay? And then she said, and get ready or whatever. And Bud leans forward.
Instead of leaning to the side, where she is.
I was like, what the hell?
Like, talk about telegraphing a joke. Okay, we all know where this is going. And of course, when you see Kelly to the left of the screen with Buck, it's still sort of funny or whatever. But and then you look back at Bud and you're wondering, why are you leaning forward and going so low? What do you think she's going to let you kiss?
Exactly.
Yeah, and you can still feel her hands on you to the right of you. It was just one of those stupid, way forced jokes that I don't like.
Yeah. Oh, we also have a joke right before this that's one of those, like, I can't believe they just said this in 1989.
Okay. I know what it is.
Yeah, Bud getting called a little she-male.
She-male, yep. Now, a she-male is what? Like, is that...
A lady boy,
yeah, I know what it is.
Trap.
But I mean,
Transvestite.
It's a guy who did everything besides chop his penis off, right?
I think so. I think technically. I mean, but I don't know. I guess it could be.
No, some of them don't get boob implants. Some do. Some go on hormones. Some don't. It's just a derogatory term for
But do they dress up as women? Like, is everything about them women besides that?
Yeah. but they have but they still have a penis.
Right. So they may or may not have implants and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was everything besides that. Okay.
But yeah, I was just surprised to hear that. Like, I was just like, I can't believe they said that.
Well, another thing I couldn't believe was a flub joke to me. It's funny because Justin said that there's so much that we could do at this slumber party, and yet there are two, like, bombed jokes. Like, I love the joke about all the girls talking about each other, and as soon as they leave, like, they're staring at the girl until and she didn't even close the door, by the way, to the garage door, and they were already talking about her. So she could have heard it, because they're like, oh, God, I hate her, you know, she didn't even close the door yet. But, so they go into this joke. Kelly says, Bud, before you leave, could you just say, I drink milk, and I'm going to be big and strong.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of lame. I'm like, you just hit him with a she-male joke, and then you're coming with this week?
Right.
Like, get out of here.
I guess the only way that Kelly's joke is remotely funny is, you guys don't know, because I'm sure these commercials didn't really play much in, like, the mid-90s and up, but they used to actually advertise milk, believe it or not, like, as if we all don't know it exists.
I remember the Got Milk campaigns.
Yeah, like Got Milk, right.
Dude, why was that so big?
I don't know. Like, who doesn't... Why do we have to be told that there is milk available? Right? Like, I don't understand this. Like, hey, guy...
Why do we have to be told that there's milk available? That's kind of the show.
Who wastes their advertising money on this? Right? Like, did they possibly sell more after these commercials ran? I can't believe it. I just don't believe it. So, I don't get it. But the joke, if it's funny at all, it's because back in the 80s, they used to run these commercials where the kids would drink milk and then they'd grow up to be strong and this and that. So I guess that is supposed to be funny. I don't know.
After these messages, we'll be right back. I know I should drink milk, because it'll help me grow up big and strong. Milk's got stuff that's good for my bones and stuff that's good for my muscles. And I guess that's okay, but I'm more interested in having fun. That's what makes milk so neat. You can drink a lot of it, and it tastes cool, so it can be a real pick-me-up. Milk, it does the body good.
But, like you said, Bud comes back with the greatest runoff of ammo that I've ever seen. So Justin's definitely right here, because they utilize the slumber party thing to the max. Like, wow.
Oh, by the way, I almost forgot. There were a few messages for you. Let me see. Oh, Dan Peterson called. He said tomorrow night behind the 7-Eleven will be fine.
That anybody wants to hear this.
Dan Peterson, that's my boyfriend.
Oh, is he? Gee, Kelly thinks he's hers. Oh, well, let's see. Greg Barnett called, too. You have a date with him Tuesday. Oh, and wear something tight.
Wait a minute. I'm dating Greg.
Uh-oh. Well, let's see. Whose boyfriend is Bobby Briccato?
Mine.
Well, you guys have a lot to talk about. Good night.
You're seeing my Greg?
And Dan?
Well, I wasn't gonna keep him.
Sal.
Trollop.
Tramp. Slut. Bundy.
And I like when they're like, whose boyfriend is Bobby? And two girls say mine.
Oh, amazing. And the one girl seems to have gotten scot-free. I guess Bud, if he didn't keep going through his stuff, because the one girl just sort of just sits on the couch while the rest of them are fighting, right?
Yeah, I actually thought that was really funny.
That was like the greatest comeback to let all the girls know that Kelly is with all your boyfriends. What makes them really look bad is that Kelly is with all of these guys at once.
That one dude is a straight player because he had the two chicks and then also Kelly.
Right? Was that Bobby Briccato? I mean, God.
That was, yeah, Bobby's got that.
Bobby got game.
Yeah, can we interview him? Forget about Hugh Hefner. I want to hear how it happens in real life.
Yeah, because he was doing this at 16.
Yeah. And Hugh had to have money and get girls higher positions in life and kind of bribe them. This guy is just whatever. So they all fight. Bud watches, takes photographs. So Steve and Marcy, since they can't sleep, they stay up and they start talking. Now, Jerry, even you must have got nauseated by this. I mean, I know you like Steve, but you don't want to hear them professing their love for each other, right?
You just don't appreciate poetry.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't understand the Shakespearean tongue that Steve. No, I really didn't like it. I was ready for that to be over. I would have left the room also.
Yeah, I like how they did it just enough and said just the right stuff that all of us were just either the viewers waiting for the scene to be over and Alan Pegg don't want to be in here either.
Yeah.
So,
also, have you ever noticed how their nicknames for each other are always sexual? Angel Cups, Sugar Tush.
Is Angel Cups boobs?
Yeah, it's a bra, Angel Cups.
she's like, Steve, I'm only an A cup. And he's like, oh, A stands for angel. So you have angel cups. Yeah, it was nauseating, and Alan Pegg did what we all wanted to do. And they left. They went downstairs, walked right through the wreckage, didn't even faze them. Okay, Kelly, remember, no boys in the house while Kelly has a hand around her throat. And then they opened the door to see that it is raining. And that just looked like the most miserable, dreary rain ever.
It really did.
Yeah, and they just still went out there because Al might get lucky enough to drown.
Yum, yum, give me some.
And, of course, we have no idea what's going on with Steve and Marcy's house. That's just never resolved. They just have it again in the next episode. And I believe Peg, in a later episode, references one time when I lost your house. So we'll have to see when that pops back up. So we'll be right back after this.
No Ma'am will be right back to wrap up this week's review. Be sure to join their Facebook group page for all the podcast news and updates. Just type in www.facebook.com/groups/marriedwithchildrenpodcast. Be sure to subscribe to them on iTunes and please leave a review telling them what you think of the show. To subscribe to their YouTube channel, just go to channels and search up Married with Children Podcast. You can email them at marriedwchildrenpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for checking out this review. Now the guys are going to give their final thoughts and ratings of this week's episode.
All right, guys. Yes, remember what I said. We changed our Facebook situation. Make sure you're on our Facebook again. Go to Facebook, type in Married with Children Podcast. Make sure you're in our group page because we closed that other one down. So get on that. All right, guys. So we just got done reviewing The House That Peg Lost. How many boyfriends out of 5 are you stealing for this episode, Justin?
Well, I'm going to say 0 because I don't steal boyfriends. Honestly, like, I felt like this episode was a little flat. It was all right. I couldn't roll with the concept, though. I think Jerry kind of hammered that home a little bit, and that he kind of he aired his problems, but also said that he was just going to roll with it, which I kind of did too. But at the same time, like, I do think it makes the episode like a little wonky, and I think that the only thing that like saves it from just being completely average is Bud's, vicious attempt at the end. And I actually liked a lot of the little bit of the slumber party that we got. And I liked the concept of Kelly did something so bad at her slumber party and they don't reveal it, that you're just like, wonder what the hell that could have been, and that she couldn't have one for another, double her life at that time when she was 8. So I thought that was kind of cool. It was neat. Just gonna steal 3 boyfriends out of 5.
You have to steal 3 boyfriends. All right, good. Okay, so you like it. 3 out of 5. Jerry, how many boyfriends are you stealing for this episode out of 5?
Justin is pretty spot on here. I'm also at 3 out of 5. it really does get saved by some really fun jokes, but this plotline gets. I can accept that they're going to do some absurd things, but they at least need to have like backing to it and try to make it make sense. And they just don't. They were like, we have a fun idea and we are going to force this idea to happen. But Justin's right. There are a lot of funny jokes that save it and make up for all the ones that just fall flat. You could nitpick this episode to death, but if you don't, you'll still have some fun with it. So I gave it a 3 out of 5 also. They are Angel Cups.
Thank you. So 3, you're only stealing 3 boyfriends. Okay. I like this episode. I've watched it quite a few times. Like you guys said, the jokes are pretty good right off the bat. Wondering what Kelly did at 8 years old. Trying to wrap your mind around how any of this could even take place. Oddly enough, like Jerry said, if you just roll with it, which I have my whole life, only in doing this show do we have to sort of break some of this down. And sometimes it could be fun, like trying to figure out how Kelly got the couch to school. And you could just, say maybe she bribed some guys they could have a date with her if they all help her get the couch there or whatever. So that's possible, but this is just insanity. But you can still roll with it and just be like, whatever. It's weird that they never resolved it. Like, we have no idea what... Are they getting it back? Oh, they said they're bringing it back next week. We have to wait a week. Nothing. Nothing at all. Would that bother anybody? No, because you had such a great ending with Bud, getting those names out there. These guys sleeping out in the mud puddle. They'd rather sleep there than in their kitchen or in Bud's room or in Kelly's room, which are both unoccupied, or in the basement or in the garage. They would actually rather sleep in a mud puddle. So that's also a forced joke that no logical person would ever do when you have those other options, or even sleeping in their car in the garage, whatever. But it's a comedy show, and you can't really lose sight of that. In that sense, I'm not going to lose sight of it, so I just smile and go with it. So for me, it's a 3.5 out of 5 boyfriends I'm stealing for this episode. So guys, next week, tune in for a big 2-parter. We are going to review Married to the Prom Queen.